What's up, man? Cool. Thanks for having me speak. Jeremy, good to see you in here. Yeah, man, I am telling people that I'm rarely excited by new endeavors these days. And for some reason, the NFT space excites me so much because I think there's so much room for innovation. And the competitor in me, I think, realizes that the market is going to get oversaturated quick, in my opinion, like very, very quickly. And I think the best, most creative, most innovative NFT companies are going to rise to the top, and it's going to be cool to see which ones those are.
I'm buying a Nate Robinson Logan Paul highlight for sure. That'll activate me.
We didn't mention that one. I would love now that, Jeremy, Darren, Farouk, Logan, you've joined the stage. What we were asking before, just as a quick anecdote, we were curious if you could own any NFT highlight from anything that you've personally witnessed in sports history, what would that moment be? But Stephen just pointed out a great one that we didn't mention on our previous conversation.
Yeah, my brother knocking out Nate Robinson would be a fantastic one. Man, I'm a combat sports guy, so I'd have to go with McGregor Aldo. I think that'd be legendary.
That's pretty great. Darren, what do you think happens when there's sort of an inevitable market correction at some point in the NFT, particularly Top Shot game? What do you think happens given the people who are at the table owning them?
Well, I think there's so much to be made right now, and so much is in the hands of the Top Shot people, the Dapper Labs people, as to what comes next. Roham over there hinted at me that it will be at least 6 months till they get out of beta, and after that they'll release their one-of-one highlights, which they've already minted. That's the first tokens that they've minted. So I don't know. I think there's going to be people that will wait for that, but it's so hard for me to answer that question because, this is out of thin air. But I will say that there are markets that appear to be transparent, and they never are. And they never are. And I don't think any market is transparent. And so this is what's keeping people awake right now, leaving money on the table. How are you going to hit the exact height? And I just say to people, this is a great time, but whenever someone says it's going to stay up forever, I always come back to when I anchored this franchise documentary on CNBC, and all these people who were buying franchises didn't check with the people who failed. All they did was laugh and shake hands, and they were so happy to be with the people that were doing well at the time. Listen to the failures, listen to what happened in the past, find out why junk wax is junk wax. And just because NFTs are new doesn't mean there aren't lessons of how things went wrong. So it's a great time. I love the energy. There has never been in our history the energy around collecting that has existed in the last 3 months.
Well, we were just saying right before, and Jeremy, I'll toss to you afterwards, but 3 years ago, collecting cards made you a nerd. 3 years ago. The way that, everything has changed in the last 36 months is really incredible. Jeremy, as somebody who I consider very level-headed when it comes to comparing one thing that you're investing in to another, where do cards compare to NFTs in sort of your mindset right now?
Very similar. And I think that good NFTs are going to be structured significantly around what we've seen is successful in the card business. I mean, I've spent a lot of time creating collectible systems in my life. And the one thing that I can tell you is that it's always easy in the very beginning of a collectible system. So if you're creating one, you better do it in a way that you can layer year and year and year and year after year of content where it still makes sense to the underlying consumer, so that the consumer can look at it from the top down and say, I fully understand how this all fits together. mean, obviously, if you look at cards, you know, the fact that a lot of them celebrate sports, or the ones that celebrate games, celebrate it by the season or by the year, you've got to treat NFTs exactly the same way. You've got to silo it. You've got to make sure that people can understand the series and understand how all the numbers fit together, because a free-for-all is a disaster, especially when you're going to have so many players in this space so quickly. So I think that the early adopters are going to do exceptionally well. I mean, for instance, you know, NBA Top Shot is a great example of an early adopter. If they're not behind the scenes signing up the other major sports organizations, they're leaving money on the table. There's one that I've become very involved with called Ecomi, or VEVE, and they're doing a lot behind the entertainment space. So they've signed like DC brands and Cartoon Network and Warner Brothers and all this other stuff, and they claim to have 100 major brands signed because they've got a 2-year head start. But at the end of the day, success is going to be about the quality of the brands that you have and how strong your collectible system is. And then never break the trust of the consumer, meaning that if you believe that it's critically important, and I do, to have secondary market value that exceeds what you've paid upfront for any digital anything or collectible anything, and you deliver that, then I think that you're going to have success over time.
Oh. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
I was just gonna say, I'm that guy who bought like 5,000 cards, like 500 packs of Vivid, Voltage, and XYs, and just cracked them all open. And I'm just hoping for the best.
Oh my God,
You're a madman. I've only been in 2 rooms with you, and you're a madman, dude.
I'm insane, Darren and Logan. Just so you know, that's what I did. Like, I saw y'all's videos, I saw everything. I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna get the Charizards. But you know what? Actually, I do sound like a madman, but I got 160 cards that went to PSA as we're speaking. And that can do the whole like 6 to 8 months wait. And so I got the whole thing going. There's like 160 cards that just left the PSA, a ton of Charizards and everything. So it's because of y'all. It's because of Buster, who's like my best friend, and he told me, just buy graded cards. And I'm like, fuck it. I'm just gonna buy like a bunch of like booster boxes and just rip them open.
Oh
like,
my
why
God,
would
dude.
why do I have to buy some like graded cards? So I rip everything open. I think I ripped like 20, 30, 40 boxes open. I don't even know how many. But you know what? I got like 50 Charizards, so it was totally worth it.
And no one had more fun than you, Farouk. Those videos were fire.
Nobody had more fun than me. Nobody pulled 3 Charizards back to back. Nobody. I don't even care. But you know what? It was fun. It was worth it. And we'll see how much it's worth. But I know Logan had more fun pulling first editions. But you know what, Logan? I pulled some like XY Charizard, like, and all that stuff. So it was so much fun.
Yeah. For those of us who didn't see, did you penny sleeve those yourself and buy the card savers and do the paperwork?
Yes. So I had the.
So you're a true hobbyist now.
I had the hard covers and I had the soft sleeves and everything ready, and had Buster on FaceTime, who was so mad at me because he was like, buy only graded cards. But me, I'm a gambler. So I just went for the non-graded cards. Don't ever go for that. And just started ripping packs.
I have a question that anyone can answer, because Farouk, that feeling that you describe, I think we all know, especially any collector who opened up that favorite card of theirs. In the NFT space, how does that translate? Can one still get that feeling through a digital collectible?
Only on Logan, only on speed, which is what I think before you came in, when I started talking.
Oh my God.
When I was talking, it has to be it's speed to the marketplace, where you're like, yes, I got the 1 of 45.
Yeah.
Yes, I got on the primary market. I got there first.
Yeah.
That's the only time you get the same type of adrenaline, at least from my perspective, which is why right now I'm out, because unless I have a bot or unless I have that speed to marketplace,
it's impossible.
So it isn't exciting to me. And anyone in NFTs who sent me something would be like, oh my God, yes, I got one of 48 or whatever. I got a friend who sent me that the other day, and that was the only excitement.
I'll tell you from a degenerate's place where Buster literally told me not to do what I did, even though I kind of made money technically because I bought 7 booster boxes of XYs, which are worth double right now a year ago. But no, I wouldn't get the same kick on NFTs. I was ripping packs, Logan. I have 13 million followers on Instagram across pages. And I was just like ripping packs. And I'm having so much fun. And we picked 3 back-to-back Charizards, holo, reverse holo. I got every single Charizard you can dream of, like even the Vivid Voltage, whatever. We just kept going, except for the old school ones. And it was so fun. And I don't think, so the answer is no, I don't think I would get that kick if it was for NFTs.
So here's what I'll say, Logan. I am a card guy to the bone and sort of denied the existence of Top Shot for the first couple weeks I was made aware of it. Eventually decided to dive in, and just the alternative experience, just the difference of experience in a collectible world that a lot of my friends were super passionate about a month, 2 months ago. I went in, I bought a few highlights. I actually bought a few highlights of players that I'm friends with and then sent it to them as gifts. But that got me excited in and itself. And just the sheer difference in acquiring it and then being able to liquidate it so quickly without the hassle, that is what got me excited. And one of the reasons why all I've been doing the last 24 hours is looking at Rarible, figuring out how to create, my own NFTs organically. And that is something, the ability to create your own on the back end of it, and the fact that anybody can do it, that's what really excites me in a different way, not in a way that cards haven't, just in a different way.
Listen,
Full disclosure, I would buy the fuck out of a Logan Paul NFT right now.
So yes and no. I wrestled with this. So not to plug myself, but I'm releasing my first set in the following weeks, and I didn't want to do Logan Paul NFT solo. I'm so curious to see how personalities, influencer, and celebrity-based NFT that don't really serve a purpose other than representing the celebrity will do. And that's why I paired it with my Pokemon release and hype around what I've built in this box break that I have coming up. Like I didn't want to do just me, like, hey, here's me, here's my face. It's tied with an event, a moment in history, a spectacle that has a lot of excitement around it, and that I think a lot of people are going to remember probably for the rest of their lives. And so tying an NFT to that made sense to me. I don't know if I'll ever drop one randomly, just like a, hey, here's this thing that I have. It's almost like it needs to represent something or have a utility or a function or a memory that, in my opinion, will make it more successful than just a regular old NFT.
Do you think that creators could ever and will try to have NFTs in the same way as merch?
Dude, it's already getting oversaturated. Like it's been what? How long have we been talking about our NFTs for? All of us in this room, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, like
a minute.
It's okay. Some people are veterans, but like, a lot of people are still new to this. And I think it's going to get oversaturated so quickly. So I think you got to come swinging when you release your NFT with something good and exciting.
Well, I'll just throw this at you. So if you were going down the toy aisle, and that's where I spend a lot of my time, not just because I'm a nerd, but because that's what I do professionally.
Yeah.
You would see some of the same brands that you've seen there for 30 years, G.I. Joe and Transformers and WWE and Star Wars and all that other stuff. And that's the reason why I think licensing is going to be so valuable in this space. So
bingo.
Yeah. I mean, what you're going to find, Logan, and I would say Team Collectibles and Cards here, is you're going to find that you're going to have all of the old standbys that have hugely emotionally vested people. And I think you used the right word when you said emotionally, Logan. And they're hugely aspirational brands. But then outside of their longevity, which I think you will have, as long as the platforms are created intelligently, you will also have new brands that are born. And it's going to be incredibly scattered, and it's going to be incredibly competitive. But I do believe that there's going to be billion-dollar franchises that are born out of NFTs. And I'll answer one last question, which is, for me, being a guy that's in my 40s that have collected cards for a long time, yeah, I think I can get a similar feel, especially in today's digital age, where, look, what are we doing? We're sharing our cards on Instagram. I get a PSA 10 Jack Nicklaus rookie. What do? I post it on Instagram. Hey, check it out, guys. That's a digital representation of something I feel has real physical value. If I could take that and then say, okay, not only does this have a physical presence, but there's going to be a 1 of 10 digital experience around this. I just think we're kind of in that age. I think that it is something that is very relevant.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Ferrum, you want to jump in?
No, I was just gonna agree. I mean, Logan, what do you think?
I think, Jeremy, you obviously have been in this the collectible space for so long. You really think there's going to be brand new billion-dollar franchises that are created off the backs of NFTs?
Yeah, I do. I really do. I think that what you're going to find, again, every time that there is a new opportunity to celebrate content, there's going to be someone who does it in a way that is groundbreaking and is very appealing. And that's what it's going to take. It's going to take some extremely well thought out, really well structured, and something very, very compelling. I mean, when I got involved with Pokemon 15, 16 years ago, the way they position it is that they have basically three pillars, or they used to have 3 pillars of content. One was video games, and think about video games that since the 80s or 90s, that's been a pillar of content that's been relevant. Cards, which from a trading card game basis, which is what Pokemon's born as, 1993 Magic the Gathering, 1999 Pokemon, and then TV. And TV is a medium that was created in the 1940s. So what I'm basically saying to you guys is, one medium was from the 40s, one medium was from the 90s, one medium was from the 80s. Each one of those have created billion-dollar properties, and NFT is going to be an area that's much like that.
It's fascinating. You're probably right. It's just it's hard to fathom right now, obviously, because it's so new.
If Jeremy Padawer is in any industry, I'm in. So if Jeremy Padawer says, Logan, I knew you fuck with that because I speak to Jeremy every other day. And if Jeremy says, put your money in NFT, I'm going to sell my house and put my money in NFT. And by the way, I'm Jeremy's adopted son. So by default,
Ferrum, you are a man of these times. You are the guy who is investing in crypto, and as soon as you wake up, before you have your orange juice in your cereal, you are looking at the crypto and how much you made while you were sleeping. Totally. And then you run to your Pokemon box, and then you get your Jordans. Yes. I mean, you are a man of these times.
And guess what? It fucking pays, Darren. I made 800% return on Dogecoin after fucking Elon posted about it with Buster, and I'm proud of it.
That was a ridiculous night, and I would not take any of those lessons and apply them to anything.
Don't listen to me.
Hey, Jeremy, I have a question for you, and maybe I have a question for you, Jeremy, and maybe this also goes to Logan. So, speaking about, of course, just those who own intellectual property and the growth of NFTs. I mean, we can start thinking of this outside of more established sports intellectual property. I mean, you mentioned TV, but even for people who own a ton of personal IP, like folks like Logan, right? Historically, that's a major opportunity for them, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, you mean just extending your own brand through the expression of a new creative medium? Absolutely. Yes, no doubt.
Yeah, it's just super interesting. I mean, those who have been creating content for years, I mean, the nostalgia, if a major fan can, I mean, that has some extreme intrinsic value.
Lee, to jump in, I think like the music industry is going to be very interesting to see like artists drop unique pieces with music around it.
Yeah, that's super interesting. And then the other question, just back to collectibles, just Logan, while we have you here, I think this is super interesting. You know, we've had a lot of creator conversations around, you know, potentially buying something because of the newsworthiness of it and the opportunity to create content. Is there anything that you're purchasing or looking to purchase to drive content, or does everything come from just the love of the game first?
So for me, the love of it came first, and then I realized, since I'm a fucking lunatic, pardon my language, that there'd be an awesome piece of content around it, because, you know, at first glance, buying a box of Pokemon cards for $350,000 makes no sense at all. And there's a story there, and in my opinion, it can be entertaining if narrated the right way, which I think we did. And then secondary, I started thinking, oh, people enjoy this. I enjoy this. I wonder how ridiculous we can get. And then through that, I try to combine that passion with my love of telling stories and thus creating content. So it's a little bit of both. I'd say like 60-40, favoring passion.
Love that.
Hey, Logan,
Yeah,
I would say this. There's a multi-billion-dollar franchise that could come out of NFT. And I think that you can actually be instrumental in creating it. It's equivalent to having Bitcoin having a market cap of $600 billion.
Hey,
Pete. 2012, or you becoming Logan in 2020, which was unfathomable in 2013. You know what I mean?
Pete, I'm already on it. You don't think I'm already on it?
No. Well, you said you find it unfathomable. I was like, wait a second.
No, because
that
Jeremy's setting the bar high. Jeremy knows.
Oh, dude, I know way too much right now. I'm dangerous. I'll tell you that.
He knows everything.
So
I mean,
I believe that
you could buy one, like a piece of the original data or code just back to like Netscape browser if it was stored somewhere. The value of that today, I mean, would be surreal. I mean, look at Beeple. Like, if you look at what's going on there with that art, it's mind blowing. It's really mind blowing.
Well, one of the things that I'm super interested in is who's going to be able to take the memes and turn them into NFTs, right? Because as we all know, memes run the internet. I was talking to this kid on Twitter last night. He made an NFT series around twerking Pepe. So he took the Pepe meme and made it twerk in a GIF. And he's 17 years old, has made $80,000 in the last month, and was just like, this random NFT, which I'm sure, I don't know who owns the rights or the IP to the Pepe meme, but whether it's legal or not, he did it. And that just makes me really, the wheel starts spinning in regards to who's going to bring the memes to NFT.
But Buster, someone also started like screenshotting tweets and making those into NFTs. So again, I don't know about the rights with that. But
I think Buster should. Honestly, Buster or Logan, y'all should just start doing it.
Yeah, let's jam.
So I got to tell you this. All right. So what's going on right now is exactly what's going to create a big log jam, right, of NFTs that are happening. So I'm going to reframe this for a moment and talk about the concept of what an NFT is versus what we look at it as today. Like right now, we look at it as there's an NBA Top Shot that exists in this, you know, this 2D, 3D universe where you can see a clip from various angles, etc. Okay, but what if you reframe it and say, what if the next great trading card game comes out of NFTs? What if the next great piece of content that you can watch in a non-linear fashion comes out of NFT? There's just a lot where you can. There's a lot where you can reframe and rethink of what an NFT could possibly be. It could be cartoons that are told in a story that you can only collect over time. It could be a book. It could be anything. So when you guys start thinking about it in terms of that, and not just necessarily clip or photo, there's just a lot that can happen.
Super interesting. Logan, how do you look at it in, you know, sort of versus cards, particularly in regards to your excitement level for one versus the other?
I think Jeremy just hit the nail on the head. In my opinion, the functionality and the utility of NFTs is essentially limitless, right? Like you can do so much with NFTs, which is why I'm so excited about the space. I mean, with cards, obviously cards are cool. It's nostalgic. You can collect them, you can hold them, touch them in real life, show them to your friends. But man, everything's going digital, and there's so many tentacles that you can attach to an NFT. I'll go back to, I think whoever gets the most creative in this industry is going to win. The most creative and disruptive is going to win.
You're spot on. And I think, to Jeremy's point in regards to IP as well, if Nickelodeon came out with a SpongeBob NFT, dude, I don't know about you guys, but I'd buy the shit out of that.
So I think
much?
To Jeremy's point, I think and Jeremy, we had this conversation the other day. It was one of the ideas I pitched you. I think the idea of applying a multi-million or billion-dollar franchise to the model that is this non-fungible token area is almost guaranteed for success. Like you're right. Like if SpongeBob and Nickelodeon came out with SpongeBob NFT, I love SpongeBob, I love NFTs, I'm buying it.
Yeah, it's one of those things that makes in some instances it makes too much sense that it's just like, wait, is this going to work?
Yep.
Oh, it's game over when they do it.
Yeah, and look, it's all about whether something's protectable or not. I mean, when you're launching a new brand, you want to make sure it has a unique point of difference. You want to make sure that there's an emotional connection to it. You want to make sure that people feel aspirationally interested in it. Like, would they really want to live it out or be a part of it? And then you also want to have a situation that there's an escalating value perspective. But nothing happens unless something's uniquely ownable. And that's the value of licenses. And that's also the value behind really good, innovative ideas. And that's also the value behind, perhaps using this very unique time to develop things that go well beyond the expected. And I think that's really what you guys are saying as well.
I want to just take a second. We've got a legend up on stage right now in the YouTube digital world. Danny Zappin is the founder of Maker Studios, creator, founding CEO, grew it to a $1 billion exit to Disney, 950 actually, 500 cash plus an earnout. Without Danny creating the first ever user-generated, branded, integrated deal, I don't even think there would be YouTubers. Danny, what up? Welcome to the stage.
Hey, pal. Hey, how's it going, everybody?
What's your take on the NFT space?
I wouldn't say I'm an expert on it. Like, is it like the Hello Kitty stuff? And like, what is the NFT space? I'm not really that knowledgeable, honestly. So I'm
Logan,
learning.
you're the expert. You guys are going to maybe work together soon. Anyways, Logan, go for it.
I'm not an expert, but here's what I know. NFT stands for non-fungible token.
Know that.
Short, it's a digital collectible, and it's turning out that there's a lot of utility that people can attach to their NFTs, whether it's an artist that releases their album art, or straight up an artist like this guy on Instagram, Beeple, who's killing it, just auctioned off his first ever NFT, a digital asset on a physical auction house, in a physical auction house site. I think it was Christie's. So yeah, it's this new space where basically collectibles are moving to your phone. You'll have it in your wallet, and you can show your friends from your device.
That's awesome. I'll tell you this: there's an artist, a fine artist, that has garnered hundreds of millions of dollars on a weekend doing auctions, and I'm working with him and his lawyer and partner right now on a digital product. It's going to be interesting to see if someone that established coming into this world, it crosses over versus someone like Beeple, who's an amazing graphic designer that just does way out shit that just goes viral and has the success he has. But I do think that all of it will have a big meteoric rise for the next 5 years to come for sure. So, Danny, if you're not hip on it, you don't know about it, you definitely better get on it quick.
Yeah, no, I get it now. I wasn't exactly sure because I just joined, so I was just catching up. But I know non-fungible tokens. I know digital collectibles. But yeah, I'll get on it.
Also, something interesting, Jeremy. You jump in first.
No, I was going to say something dumb, to be honest with you. Like it's still new to me. Like even 3 weeks ago, I'm talking to my brother, who's such a smart dude, and I was calling them non-fungible tokens, and he was like, "Dude," he's like, "If you ever want to," he's like, "If you ever want to be taken seriously, you've got to at least have to know how to say the word fungible." So I'm just impressed that everyone's actually pronouncing it correctly.
That's very kind of you. One thing that I'm